Is the thought of being imperfect keeping you from taking action? Welcome to Inspired Action for Imperfect Humans. Each week, we give you real-life stories and thought-provoking research that inspires your soul to live a more fulfilled life through your own actions. From the heart of Calgary, Canada, here are your hosts, award-winning coaches, Christopher Lawrence and Kyle Kalu.
Folks, it's Christopher here again. We promised you this week we would tell you a little bit about what's coming up with season 4 for Inspired Action for Imperfect Humans. I'm the one that has to say the name because Kyle can't even remember what it is, and he screws it up all the time. He's like, Inspired Humans for Imperfect Action.
So it's clear to see that this is what you guys have to look forward to in season 4. I mean, I knew
more Kyle bashing.
It was going so well, so smooth. I had all these different other people, and I hope you guys really enjoyed that with the leaders. And you know what's interesting? I know we talked about this, Christopher, before when we talked about season 3, like what were people coming to expect, right? Hearing about the different leaders and, what do they have as their nugget? How are they curating a corporate coaching culture in their organization? And based on our title of our podcast, you heard as well as others that we're all imperfect humans. Like, we are all imperfect humans. And here's the thing. We're all imperfect humans working in the same organization, same relationships, going about our lives. So season 4, we want to get even deeper.
We're going to go super deep. Yeah. When you talk about all of us being imperfect humans, I would just say, speak for yourself. In any case, folks, we're going to, let me give you some highlights here. So we are going to start the year by talking about motivation. So we're really focused on career fulfillment. Kyle and I have been spending a lot of time talking about this podcast and where we're going next. And this is what's really important. Here's one thing we know for sure. For the vast majority of our listeners and for the vast majority of the population on the planet, you spend the best part of your life working. The best part of your day, you're working.
Fact.
Everything around your life, when you go to the gym, when you eat, how you spend time with your kids, when you go see family, when you sit down to relax, all of that is built around your workday, right? Because the workday is right in the middle. It's the best part of the day, and your working life is the best part of your life, right? It's like when you have the most decision-making ability, right? You're not a teenager anymore or a kid anymore, and you're not, you're not aging so much that you're losing capacity, right? So this is the best part of your life. And Kyle and I strongly believe, and this is so tied to our purpose, if this is the best part of your day and the best part of your life, you better have some kind of connection to it, either a fulfillment or a purpose or a reason. And we want to make your working life better. Our demographic here in Canada and the United States, there are a lot of resignations happening. In Canada, we're heading into a labor shortage that will probably last 10 years unless something changes. This is what the BDC has come out and said. So we know that your work is going to be so important. And actually, you might even have more options than you did before, which is really good news in some ways, but it creates other challenges. More options makes it harder to choose. Okay. So we've got some cool stuff coming up. Kyle, what are some of the things that you're looking forward to talking about?
And I know you want me to answer the question, and I like to bring a little story in.
Oh, girl, here he goes. Everyone sit down.
Just answer the question.
Sit down, everyone. Grab a notepad. He's going to test you on it later.
Here's what I say. People have to recognize exactly what you just said, Christopher. People have to recognize, ourselves included, of course, that you did it. You're at the end of 2021, right? I know when we all started all this stuff, we thought COVID is 19. That bitch COVID is 21 at least now. It's no longer 19, right? It's 21, and we're about to start another year. And we talk about this, right, Christopher, all the time about renewal, right? You could start another day is another opportunity for you to renew yourself. So in 2022, as we're going to start, that's moments away from 2022, I want us to go even deeper to understand how can we, one, recognize what we're experiencing, right? What is some of the stuff that happens, in our life around how we chat with people, how we interact with other people, how do we interact with ourselves? If you can't get along with self, how the hell do you think you're gonna get along with someone else? Can I get an amen? Is that someone else's stuff? Because you know me and catchphrases.
Wow, that's so great and generic. I will add some specificity. So, girl, do not
God,
ask
I
Kyle
miss
for a
you.
detailed story.
I miss you.
Yeah, well, I mean, you kicked me off the podcast, you fool. So I want to really start this new year off with this thing around renewal and motivation. I think that, like, we're going to talk about some goal setting stuff, but I'm going to tell you why everybody's getting it wrong and why your New Year's resolutions aren't going to last. We really need to talk about that and how this impacts you in the workplace, because our work does get a lot from us. We're going to talk about these difficult conversations and difficult relationships. I want to talk about bad bosses, bad employees, and bad team members. And of course, none of them are bad, but maybe differently prioritized. And I want to talk about those things and get into some of the juicy with it, because again, as Kyle often says and reminds us, you think your leader knows what you want, need, value, but your leader doesn't know if you haven't said it. And your fear in having that conversation with them is getting in the way of the fulfillment of your career and your life. So we are going to put control back, because I don't know about you guys, in the last 2 years, it has felt like more of our lives are out of our control than what's in our control. So much has been taken away from us. And so we want to focus on the aspects that are in your control. So we're going to talk about these aspects of these things that you can do. Same thing with employees. I think so often leaders think that their employees should know, their employees should respond this way. And it's like, well, that's if they think like you. So we want to go super deep in all of this stuff. And it's all in this theme of taking imperfect, inspired action, having your human experience, but in the vein of creating fulfillment in your life.
And that is what we do well. Listen, I know you guys talk about, you talk to your girlfriends, you talk to your friends, here's the thing. Sometimes at the water cooler or where you're doing it now via Zoom private chat, I know you guys are all doing it. And let me just tell you, a lot of you are not qualified. You're not qualified to have the conversation. So you need to be on this podcast. Chris, remember that time I told you I was taking myself
the girls
out
in the
for
cafe.
Yeah,
the girls in the cafe. Can I just tell you something about this? Listen, if you are listening to this podcast, if you're one of these girls and you're listening to this podcast, you need to pick up the phone and call us, because girl, you need some help. Okay, Kyle, tell the story.
So it was so interesting. So I go to this cafe, and we're doing our thing. And then I walked in, there's a group to the corner of girls. I'm going to say about 8 to 10, these ladies. They're probably between maybe 25 and 35, maybe late 30s or something, just in that age group. So I sit down and I'm having brunch.
So sorry, were they 8 to 10 years old and there was 25 to 35 of them?
No,
or there were 8 to 10 people?
10 people.
Okay, just
ages 25.
Just want to be clear that you're not about to bash children.
Okay. Got it. So I'm there. I'm going to have brunch. And as you know, I have some work to do as well. So I will have brunch, get my laptop out, and I'm going to start doing some work. So as I'm, ordering, I'm just waiting to order, I'm hearing the conversation. And they're talking about the guys they've dated, this guy they went on a date with, the friend of their friend. And they're literally, oh, no, you don't have to do that. You should say this instead. Oh, don't give it that in, because if you give in, then this is what this means. Like, there was so much bad advice. It's one thing to talk and just you reminisce with each other and says, oh my God, that was a horrible date. It was a horrible thing. I get that, because you need to do that sometime. But they were trying to give each other advice. Oh, here's what I do. I usually hold out for 3 months. I usually do that. Oh my God, it was crazy. It took everything out of me not to turn over to them and say, okay.
Weren't they saying like stuff like, here's what you need to do. You need to make him pay for it. You need to.
Oh, totally. If he doesn't pay, then this means this. If he pays, that means that. Like, they're literally contradict each other about what it is, right? What they're trying to do. But I get it. They were hurting. They weren't clear on certain things. And some people who were maybe clear on certain things was trying to give advice where I'm thinking from someone like us who do this day in, day out, it's going to really lead you back to that circle. You're going to go back to that cycle of things. And what we're saying in the workplace, in your relationship, in how you communicate with other people, it doesn't have to be that way, right? We get it. We didn't have a lot of tools or resources, right? And I know there's a lot of people who talk about these things, but what we're saying, what we're going to do in season 4 is we're truly going to help you. We're going to identify strategies for you. We're going to identify tips and tricks. You're going to hear how we actually coach our clients sometimes through these things, as well as some of the things that we know are top of mind for people in their everyday life as they're working.
Sounds good to me, man. I'm in.
Let's do it. All right. We'll see you guys soon.
Take care, folks. Remember, stay inspired. Let us know what you're interested in. We've got a couple of sessions that are unplanned. We want to hear from you. What do you need to hear from us about? I mean, me specifically.
Oh, God.